Hello and welcome. I'm Mercy, the head game master here at HereThereBeMonsters, and we're back with another Working Wednesday stream. If you're not familiar with me or our campaign, we run a custom Dungeons & Dragons version 3.5 campaign setting called the World of Rin. And we live stream our sessions on twitch.tv/HereThereBeMonsters and then upload those videos here to YouTube. Also, most Wednesdays, although not quite every, but most Wednesdays and some Thursdays, we do these working streams here on YouTube, where we get together, work on DM projects, and try to expand the world of Rin. We try to be spoiler free, so if you would be interested in our campaign, we don't want to ruin anything for you. But obviously, you're welcome to pose questions to us or work on your own projects as we're here. Kale, thank you for joining me. The format of the show is we put some time on the clock, in today's case about 45 minutes. We'll work for that long, then we'll take about a 5-minute break. We'll come back, we'll put another 30 or 45 minutes on the clock, and then we'll get out of here. The goal is to be relatively focused on accomplishing the goals that we've set out down below. and then obviously if we somehow end up with extra time, there's always more to do. If you're curious about the world of Rin, Rin is like I said, a custom setting. It's kind of Lord of the Rings-esque, like kind of low level, low power, low economy. Very much, kind of like struggle to save the world and, and impact things and whatnot. That being said, that doesn't mean that our characters are low impact. It just means that we're focused on lower level encounters. We have armies of orcs instead of armies of dragons and that sort of thing. So our player characters right now in the campaign that I run in the world of Rin are in the process of striking out on a new adventure, and also...
YouTube stream is now live.
Thank you, Lumia. And also having a fort constructed that they will be in command of. And the second campaign that we also run in the world of Rin, with the help of our friends at the Mortal Woes, is a little bit newer, so their characters don't have quite as much under their belt yet, but they're in the process of investigating a pretty significant mystery that's also taking place in our setting. So if that sounds like fun, you can catch up with all of our sessions here on YouTube, youtube.com/HereThereBeMonsters. And other than session videos, our hope, our actual play session videos, our hope is to get some more scripted content out here on YouTube soon as well. Hello, Shalendor. Thank you for not being here. There have been so many orcs. Yes, there have. Most of them at one time, to be fair. How's your day going, Kale? So first things first, I couldn't remember if I had already done this, and it looked like the answer was yes, I already had. But one of the things on our... Gosh dang it, my hair dries into the most annoying, like, DuckTales sometimes. Down here, Hero Forge, other than we love building things in Hero Forge, that was a reminder for myself to check out the bundle for this month, because we have Hero Forge Pro, Ultra, Giga Prime, whatever the heck they call it. And we get a free bundle every month. So I wanted to make sure that we actually claimed it, which, like I said, in fact, we already have. But I also just wanted to look at it, because this is a freaking cool set. I love all of these. This gladiator guy with a crazy, like, hand sword thing and a little buckler looks awesome. Like turning a wheelchair into like a somewhere between wheelchair and chariot thing, it looks amazing. The front of it's made out of shields. Like, that guy looks super cool. This one, however, is my favorite. This mini, or these minis, this is amazing. This is beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Whoever designed that should be very proud of themselves. It immediately made me think of that scene from the original Gladiator, like, "We who are about to die, salute you." This one also very cool. Got some kind of a sorcerer sword blade or something, who's lit their weapon on fire. Very cool mini. And I also really like her. So this is a really, really solid set. I'm very happy with this one. But like I said, this one is my favorite. That mini is so freaking cool. Right, Kale? So, good news is I had already claimed it. Extra good news is it's an awesome bundle. I also, I have, you may have noticed in my tabs up there, I did pull up ChatGPT just to help us brainstorm a little bit today. Because we've been experimenting with some skill challenges for travel. And for those that don't know, actually, Kale in chat is one of our players. So obviously you're welcome to speak up. But at least from my perspective, I really liked having the skill challenges interspersed among the travel. It broke things up in a way that was interesting, and to me at least, and let people use skills and spells that they don't normally use. But it didn't bog things down as much as like a full combat or whatever. So personally, I was really happy with how that went, but I'm also down for some feedback if your perspective on that was different for whatever reason. You got the flying polyp down to 4 HP before it flew away. Ah! Did anybody else? 'Cause somebody like died or got in significant danger recently, right, Shalendor? That's true. And I'm sorry, we just haven't really had a chance to talk too much or hang out too much since then. Have you ever been able to figure out anything as far as your phone goes? Have a new one? Do you have any insurance or anything, or is that that out of pocket? You missed a lot of that session due to the issues, but the one that you were there for was fun. Cool. I mean, in my opinion, that should be normal in all campaigns, Looney. Personally, I'm much more of a fan of like overcoming the danger and beating the odds than like the superhero style. Not harsh to anybody else's mellow. Obviously, you do what's fun for you. But that's how I personally derive a lot of my satisfaction with RPGs. Out of pocket, but you just did like 180 bucks for a cheap one until you decide to get a newer one. Honestly, that's where I am with phones, especially these days. Like, even the like lower mid-level phones, the ones that are like 150 to $300, there's like they can still do so much. They can still like, so I don't know. Personally, I don't choose to spend my money on big phone upgrades. All right. So since we're talking about skill challenges, let's actually look at that now. What I want to do is I want to build a bigger list of non-combat things that might be challenging. Or at least things that are not initially combat. I guess I might potentially be okay with something like somebody charging a bridge toll or something. Because that type of thing, like these days, you know, most people just like, they're evil, they're brigands. But like back in the day, I think it was fairly normal for people to just like, hey, like this is my farmland. I built like a bridge or a ferry or whatever across this river. Like I charge a toll to use it. I mean, like obviously most farmers didn't have bridges, but whatever. Like you get the general gist of what I'm getting at. Like, I don't think that that was particularly uncommon. True, although that setup was a little different than what I'm talking about. You know what I probably should do is actually... No, not probably. I definitely should do this. I have a section for like random charts. And I should definitely get these skill challenges out of session notes and into random charts. The perfect thing to do today. Your most Siege people abandoned you for Destiny 2. Rip. Big rip. Does that mean that I might actually get to play some games with you again? This is okay, yeah, that's hyperlinked. Let's copy this over here. I think just a new Google Doc is fine. Paste. Skill challenges for overland travel. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab the link to that file. And we're going to put that. We're going to embed that into my notes file. So the notes file goes to the sheet where our challenges are. And then that way when we add more, we're cross-referencing the same thing instead of having that saved in like 3 different places. There we go. Much better. Oh, I forgot about that. Can you guys hear sounds right now other than me talking? The party trying to avoid being spotted by the Durgar in the Underdark in an area where trails can be seen if you leave. Ah, no, you don't. Okay. I forgot that I had left something open in the background and it started making sound. I was like, oh crap, I don't think stream should be getting that, but maybe. You knew when they were kind of talking about maybe getting back into it, Rainbow Six would be dead to them because Destiny 2 just takes up so much time. Yeah. Well, I mean, most groups honestly like filter in and out of games though. So I'm glad that you had the opportunity to play for a while and to do something again that you were enjoying, and hopefully you guys come back to it. I just personally, I tried with Destiny 2, not a lot, admittedly, but I tried it out, and it just personally, I don't get the hook. I realized that it's not that different from Helldivers, but I don't know. Helldivers just feels like the combat and stuff feels more satisfying to me. Like, what's the word I want? I don't know. Helldivers feels like more of, I guess, to my point earlier about how I tend to find enjoyment in games. Helldivers, in general, to me, tends to feel more like overcoming a challenge, whereas Destiny 2 feels like, at least what of it I played, feels like you're supposed to win. Oh, actually, speaking of playing games together, Kale, other than just generally, I'd love to play some Dota or some Magic or something with you soon. But on the note of Magic and you coming to visit, you guys bought some Lord of the Rings cards, right? Like back, whatever, 2 years ago when that came out? 3 years ago? Oh, God, when was that? Whatever. Do you have any Nazgul? Played Destiny 2 a long time ago when it first came out and messed around with the raids, but now everything new that comes out just feels so samey and the grind is pretty boring. You don't think you got any Nazgul? Dang, they're only uncommon. I got 4. 1 copy of one and frickin' 3 copies of another one. Like, of course. Okay. So our skill challenges so far, we have difficult terrain, equipment failure, hunting and gathering, inclement weather, and navigation. I would love to like double-ish the size of that list if we can think of more stuff. We may have done too good of a job of being vague there, though. Because, like, difficult terrain, that could cover things like river crossings, valleys or gullies, login road, muddy area, yeah, etc., etc. That's all just kind of difficult terrain. Ooh, social conflicts. Like, yeah. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. That's going on the list for sure. Faux show. I guess that, that wouldn't work when it's only players traveling together, but although I guess you could come upon NPCs that are having a conflict. Wildlife encounter. Yes, although that gets a little bit weird because I actually have non-combat wildlife in my encounter charts. I would have to redo those. So I agree now that we're making a separate chart for skill challenges. That's probably a better spot for wildlife encounter, but that might be beyond the scope of what we're doing right now. Ooh, I just thought of something actually. So this gets messy because this is kind of also in my encounter charts. But we'll work on DCs for these later once we get the list built out. Like finding two things that are closely related, but not necessarily the same. Finding like ruins or something that needs investigating, and also like roadside shrines, like shrines to like deities. Injury, sure. I mean, and that could even be like injuries in the party. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's tough to build this super generically because some of these obviously don't work if you're like some of these do and don't work if you're traveling like on like the King's Road. Like difficult terrain could still be right, like the road could be washed out or a bridge destroyed or something like that, but like navigation not so much if you're on the King's Road. But like roadside shrine makes sense on the King's Road, but not like in the wilderness. Looted and destroyed caravan wreckage. I do like that. I would probably just file that under like thing to investigate that we kind of already did. But yes, that's a great idea for one. Okay, spoiled supplies. Ooh, actually that wasn't in my list. I did have hunt and gather, but I guess spoiled supplies kind of leads to hunt and gather. Supply spoilage. Broken equipment we already had. Disease or contamination. That's probably outside the scope of what we're looking at here. Ooh, this is an interesting suggestion. Like something to do with local customs. Okay, I was worried we weren't going to be able to come up with something, but I think we're doing pretty good actually. Living terrain. Oh, that's an interesting suggestion. Probably a little too magical generally for where we are right now, but went through your Lotar cards box and you have two. Oh, nice. Which ones is it? Which ones do you have? And thank you for looking either way. I'm trying to finish a set of them. If you hadn't already kind of surmised why I was asking. And like I said, I have 4, but 3 of them are the same print. What are the numbers down in the bottom left? Let's say U0339 or something like that. 334 and 335. Would you have any interest or desire in either trading for other Nazgul when you come to visit, and or I don't know, something else? Because I think I might not have either of those. I'll go look at mine in a sec. Cool. Yeah, I have 3 of the zero, like U0100 one. And I was gonna trade them to a local store because I called around today and found out that there's a local store that has 2 of them that I don't have. But it's different ones from the ones that you have. They had 38 and 39. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just buy theirs and then I'll trade you for yours. And then that way I get 4 that I don't have instead of only 2. Let me okay, we still got a little while till break. Let me grab the ones that I have really fast. I've been since I've been going through my cards to sell stuff off to try and raise money to pay for vacations and some medical expenses this year. So I've been piecing together a commander deck so we can play when you come. So you should bring a commander deck. Yeah, I have 30. Okay, hold on. Which ones you said? You had 34 and 35. Oh, that's freaking perfect. I have so there's one that's 100. This is the one that I have 3 of. And then I have 32. I guess I should have taken them out of the sleeves. They'd probably show better. And 36. So if I can trade you for 34 and 35, the local store had 38 and 39. So what would that actually leave me? I'd have most of a set at that point, I think. What does this have? 132, 36. Elite. delete. And then if you traded me 34 and 35, or and 35, and then my local place has 38 and 39. Nice. I'd only be missing 2. I'd have 7 of the 9. Well, that's freaking cool. All I'd need is 33 and 37. Well, that's exciting. Yeah, if you're down, that would be, I would super appreciate it. That'd be a lot of fun. Plus, like, actually trading cards. Who does that these days? Oh, actually, sorry, back on to what we're supposed to be doing. Fatigue. Like, yeah, I know there's forced marching and blah, 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 but just kind of generally, like, you know, just kind of like we're grumpy and maybe a little tired and maybe a little sore, just kind of generally from like being on the road. Like, we're just more tired today. Oh, also, Shalendor, I did read your one up there. I'm sorry, I was at the moment I was hyper fixating on magic card things. Actually, dense fog is interesting. I realize that probably just falls under inclement weather. Yeah, it probably does. But that's an interesting idea. Despair from monotony. You love fog, gets you 2-hour work delays. I think a toll can make sense in the right circumstance. And then bad omen is kind of interesting. Like superstition. Okay. So what does that put us up to? That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 14. We had 5 and I wanted to get up to 10, so 14 feels pretty good. Ouch. Yeah, for sure. So now what we need to do is come up with some example skills that would be used to solve these problems and some DCs that we think would work for them. I might pull up my stream again here in just a sec. Also, if you're here hanging out, enjoying the vibes, if you haven't had a chance to yet, if you wouldn't mind throwing a thumbs up on the stream, we'd appreciate it. It's a nice, easy, free way to help us out and tell YouTube that they should show what we're doing to more folks. Okay. I mean, yes, that's running in the background, but that's not what I told it to show. It's weird. I definitely turned that on before I switched over. So NPC social conflict, obviously, for a lot of these, it's gonna depend on the specifics, right? But this is just generating like a chart to give us an example. So diplomacy obviously would be an easy one. And I guess maybe, bluff, I guess we kind of just want one as an example. But so diplomacy, I would also say that like bluff would be a good example, and then I would think maybe intimidate would be like it works, but there might be some like consequences. So I'm not trying to list every possible way that you might solve it. I just want to give like some signposts. $29 DC for the bad. And investigation, well, conveniently. Although I suppose it depends a lot on the type of investigation that we're talking about. And that's exactly what this is for, Shalendor. So our goal here is just to make a list of things to the as like approximants to kind of set some example DCs. And then that way the party can say, hey, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then instead of sitting in there and going, on DCs, we kind of have some stuff to like pick from. So I don't necessarily for NPC social conflict, like I'm down if somebody wants to, I mean, obviously it has to make sense to some degree. But maybe there's two NPCs arguing about how one of them allegedly stole something from the other one, and the rogue is like, I want to help resolve this with sleight of hand. You're gonna be like, what? How does that help? Be like, well, okay, I want to steal the item myself, or whatever. I want to run their pockets and see if he actually stole the item. Cool, that helps. Like I would say that's a good solution. So then we'd roll against like a 15 instead of like a 17 or 18. Speaking of which, I feel like intimidate isn't probably an 18 for the average solution there instead of a 17, because there's a lot higher risk of repercussions if you're intimidating. To full screen that for a quick sec. GM would say, depending on how the skill roll ended up. And that's so the way that I have been running it, at least so far, is kind of how they do it in 4th edition, where whatever skill it is, however you describe using your skill or whatever, then you make your roll. And then as a party, you need to get like X number of successes, over X number of, or over Y number of failures. So it might be an easy skill challenge where they only need 2 successes. And then they all get to describe like what skills or spells or whatever they're using. And then as long as they get 2 successes, then they're good. On that note, I feel like maybe we should add a column here for maybe just as a reminder. Maybe we just put a reminder for like determine difficulty. How many successes are needed? So for an investigation, I mean, search is an obvious one, but investigation could be social investigation. It could be, it could be exploring. It could be any number of things. But I feel like search just makes too much sense to be the example there. Ransack a chest full of junk to find a certain item is a 10. Notice a typical secret door or simple trap is a 20. I feel like we want something in between those two, but I don't necessarily just want it to, like, I'm trying to avoid also just everything being 10 or 15. I mean, I guess that's kind of just going to be the way that a lot of it's going to work out, but... Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I wanted to get away from using help, the help action. I think this is a more dynamic way to do it instead of just everybody being like, all right, well, whatever. I take the help action. It allows people to kind of like get outside their normal skill uses and, find something else. Find another way to contribute. Find a footprint. Where is it says varies, but where is the varies? Am I just missing it? Oh, it's down here. A successful search check can find a footprint of or similar sign of a creature's passage, but it won't let you find or follow a trail. You need the track feed for that. Well, sure. This one just feels like it could be a bit lower. This one feels like, we're looking for more like a 13 or something. But then, like probably a 17 or 18 still for like a not so good skill. I guess the comparison I would just use would be spot. The difference between I am searching for something and I'm looking around for something. Let's see, a +4 would be a 17 spot. I know we've mostly been doing like +3s, like +2s or +3s for most of the DCs. Oh, that's a mistake though. That needs fixing. Oh. There we go. Probably just 17 for that one. I feel like also actually this one deserves a slightly lower DC. Let's go 14. and 16. Survival just is actually a DC 10. Maybe equipment failure we raise a little bit. But then we keep it a narrow band, 12 and 14. That's 2 difference, 2 difference, 2 difference, 3 difference, 2 difference, 3 difference, 4 difference. I feel like investigate is going to have a broader like spread though. Probably keep the 3 difference there. That's 2 and then 3. That's 3 and then 4. I think most of these make sense. I'll catch up on chat here in just a sec. 2, 4, and then 8. That doesn't make sense, I don't think. We'll go a 2 jump and then a 3 jump. 2 jump and then a 4 jump, I think is fine for that one. All right, I like that more. The party was able to survive the dragon. Excellent. By retreating. Hey, I mean, honestly, that's one of the hardest things to get player characters to do. So, well done. Thankfully, they know when to flee and stay alive. The new warlock came along. Almost completed the main. Wait. Warlock? For some reason, I thought it was like an ice elf. For some reason, I had a different class in my head. I just dropped a chocolate chip from my granola bar. I want to make sure I don't sit on it and get chocolate all over the butt of my pants. Aha! I found it. So heal has its own DCs that we obviously want to like kind of concede to, which is a little bit of a bummer for the way that we've been customizing DCs here. 15 feels a little high, but I do think that we should respect the existing DCs when it makes sense. The new player is a snow elf warlock. Most of the time, their culture women are the spellcaster, but he has a cursed arm after connecting. Oh, very cool. And then what do we think is like a secondary skill that might make sense to solve something like an injury? Praise, balance, bluff, climb, concentration, craft. I mean, you know, cyberscript, diplomacy. I would say that like diplomacy could be like an average solution, right? Because you could try and go find help for them. Able device, disguise, escape artist, forgery, gather information would be the same thing. Maybe a relevant knowledge skill as well. Actually, I would probably call knowledge skill good. What? Ooh, survival would be interesting there too. That feels like a survival skill. But I feel like it would be a slightly bigger gap, like a 3 gap instead of a 2 gap. And then bad solutions for first aid, I think that would be a 4 gap. That would be a 22 DC. What would the challenge be at a roadside shrine? Like knowing what to do, I guess? The knowledge? Or maybe there's somebody there desecrating the shrine, but that's still probably knowledge. This one feels like an easier one. Probably 10. What would be an average solution there? Perform, maybe? Like perform ritual or something? Probably just like a 15. All right. We will come back to that after the break. Speaking of after things, by the way, so we'll have like 5-minute break and then, 30 or 45 minutes on the clock. And then I might be down to do a Dota after that if Kale's still around. Like a little after the hour. I don't know, around the hour. I'll have to decide how much time I think it's going to take to do the things that we still have left. XP really only takes like 5 or 10 minutes, but I don't really know. Session prep can be kind of a crapshoot. Well, I'm glad you got everything worked out, and it sounds like you're relatively happy with the solution there, Vincent. That's I really dig the flavor of that character. So if you're new here and you haven't been here for one of the working streams before, I'm going to throw about 5 minutes on the clock and stretch my legs, refill my drink, throw away the wrapper from my protein bar, and just kind of generally refresh myself. If you haven't been off your booty in a little while, now's a great opportunity for you to do that as well. We'll put 5 minutes on the clock, and then we'll come back and finish that table. And then get on to the other projects of the day. I think I'll go ahead and leave it at 45 minutes on the second clock as well. Break ends in 5 minutes. While I'm up, I'm going to do a Pokemon Go battle, so wish me luck. I'll let you know how it goes when I get back. Ooh, you know what I should do? Oh, I don't have a good way to play that to where you'd hear it right now, though. Dang it. I was gonna offer to play one of the songs that we had created for Rin. Hey Eclipse, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll let you guys know how it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fiddle around. Wait, maybe I can play it for you this way? Oh god, it's only 2 minutes long. Well, there's a couple different versions of it, I guess. I could let one of them run and then come back and hit the other one really quickly while I'm doing my battle. Totally gonna restart my timer though. My break timer. Oh, this will probably work, actually. Let's go here, reset my timer real quick. And then if I hit play, I think you'll hear it. Nope, not that. Oh, right. Hold on. I have to do one other thing. This was probably more trouble than it was worth, but that's fine. We had some music compositions put together for our D&D game that we played during our last session. That was a lot of fun. It's just a flavor thing. There's no spoilers. You don't have to worry about that. So if you're going to be here during the break, enjoy.
Oh, the king gave a land where the wild winds wail, past the forest deep and the mountain trail. With hammer, hope, and a worn-out blade, we came to build, not be afraid. Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through rain and cold and beast untamed, we'll make a life on the land we've claimed.
The city hums with the calm design, but things move fast past the borderline. Got faith and steel and hope and song, and hearts that know where they belong.
Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through rain and cold and beasts untamed, we'll make a life on the land we've claimed. The quartermaster taught us what to sow, the cleric blessed the heart's warm glow, the ranger keeps the paths inside, and the blacksmith burns through every night. We'll bury friends beneath this loam, but still we build, still call it home. The world may bite, the gods may test, but we won't yield, we do our best. Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through blade and faith and dreams unshamed,
We'll make our mark on the land we've claimed.
Oh, the king gave land where the wild winds wail, past the forest deep and the mountain trail. With hammer, hope, and a worn-out blade, we came to build, not be afraid. Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through rain and cold and beasts untamed, we'll make a life on the land we've claimed. The city hums with a calm design, but things move fast past the borderline. We've got faith and steel and hope and song, and hearts that know where they belong. Raise the beams and drive the stake, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through rain and cold and beasts untamed, we'll make a life on the land we've claimed. The quartermaster taught us what to sow, the cleric blessed the heart's warm glow, the ranger keeps the paths in sight, and the blacksmith burns through every night. bury friends beneath this loam, but still we build, still call it home. The world may bite, the gods may test, but we won't yield. We do our best, raise the beams and drive the stakes, sow the seeds and mend what breaks. Through blade and faith and dreams unshamed, we'll make our mark on the land we've claimed.
All right. So that was two different versions of the working song, A Life Will Make, that we had put together for last session in the world of Rin. And also absolutely stomped that guy. I didn't even pull out my third Pokemon. Big rip for him. Let's see what, oh, right. I need to go over here, put work ends. Here's the countdown to 45 minutes. There we go. And here we go. Doing a thing in the background here real quickly. So how's everybody else doing today? How are your projects? If you're at work, how is work? You're doing some stuff at home? How's that going? I've actually had an insanely productive day today. I am really excited. I got a fair amount of stuff done for HereThereBeMonsters projects, and I got a ton of personal stuff done that I've needed to do. One of the reasons that we took some time off last week was just like feeling really behind on, well, and not just feeling, being really behind on a lot of things. And I certainly have not solved that all in one go today, but I do have a good start, and that feels good. All right, our next one is supply spoilage. I'm torn on this one because I do kind of like it as a non-combat skill well, as a non-combat encounter, but I'm not 100% sure that it is in and of itself a skill challenge. I guess stopping food spoilage. It's like you find that, 1d4 of your rations have spoiled. It's excuse me, what are you going to do to prevent that from happening to the others? But then after they do that, then why would it come up again? Have mixed feelings on that one. Maybe supply waste. And then that way it might also include things like rats, or, you know, maybe the supplies were just a little bit past their prime to begin with, or something like that. And what skills would we use? I guess craft. Craft and knowledge both kind of jump out at me. Which one do we think is more important? I almost feel like the knowledge is more important. And again, we want to start with a DC of 10, so that way, theoretically, anybody... because the way knowledge works in 3.5 is anybody can roll to see if their character knows something. But if you're not trained in that specific knowledge, no matter what roll you get, the best result you can you can have is a 10. So that goes a long way to say that, like, everybody might know a little bit, right? There's like common knowledge essentially, but you have to have training to go beyond that. Honestly, I think a pretty narrow band of DCs makes sense for supply wastage. That's not trying to be like a big problem. And 12, 14, I think makes sense. Local customs, I mean, that obviously is knowledge also. But I feel like that one depends a lot on how local you're talking, right? Because where the party currently is, a local custom would just be a DC 10 or maybe even like an 8. But if you travel somewhere far away, then a custom that is then local, you know. I guess, though, that's where you're going to solve that with difficulty, though, right? Although it's kind of both. But I think 10 knowledge is fine. And there's literally a knowledge skill called local. And then maybe this one's like slightly harder. Should we go with 3s? We go 13 is like gather. Oh, God. What's the name of that skill so stinking long? We'll just go gather info. And then a 16 here. What do we actually think about fatigue? Are there really multiple solutions to fatigue? Or I don't know that really gives a skill challenge. It's more of a non-combat encounter, yes, but it's not really a skill challenge. It's just logistics. You know, either we rest more and or we shuffle who's riding in carts and things. Maybe weariness is a better term. I kind of feel like Toll especially might sort of fall into that same category. It's like, so what else? Like, how is that a skill challenge? You're either paying the toll or you're not paying the toll. Or if you're trying to, I guess it's how you're getting out of the toll. If you're going to try and avoid the toll. But frankly, most NPC tolls that are designed to be charged to NPCs would be so minimal that, like, why wouldn't you just pay it? But at the same time, it does give a chance for like a reputation check also, though. Diplomacy and reputation. I'm skipping weariness for now. Herbalism. In 3.5, herbalism just kind of falls under survival, doesn't it? Oh, or are you thinking herbalism as a solution for weariness? We want to look at the diplomacy DCs, but I think they would actually be relatively difficult to talk your way out of that. If anything, I almost feel like maybe diplomacy is the like the intermediate solution. Maybe the reputation check. I feel like it would be fairly hard to reputation check your way out of a toll, right? I think maybe this is a 15. And then diplomacy goes up. Maybe getting your way out of a toll is fairly hard. You know what? I kind of like that. Yeah, herbalism or like I said in 3.5, which would be survival. Could be a check there. What else would be like? I guess maybe that this one is a skill challenge in that it's less about what actual skills you're going to roll and more about like you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna solve it with logistics, maybe some magic, maybe a little bit of something else. So that should probably be an easy one, right? It's not hard to deal with weariness. Maybe that would be like survival skill. It would be kind of the opposite of injury, right? It would be survival for the good solution and heal for the intermediate solution. Or I guess maybe survival and heal are both good solutions, and the average solution is just like make a fort save. Yeah, I think I like that a little better. Yeah, to find the herbs, exactly. Maybe like there. I think survival goes by 2s is the way that their DCs normally are written. when it comes to finding food and stuff. Yeah, for every 2 points beyond. So it's a 10 to find like normal food. And then it's a +2 to feed each additional person. So then to use that here, maybe it's like a 10 to find, normal food, but like a 14. I don't know, but we didn't want this one to be hard. I think a 12. Right? If it's a 10 to find normal food, it's a 12 to find, like, essentially coffee beans. Or, whatever the local equivalent would be. And then I think we go with a 14 for the fortitude save, because that would be like a... that would be like a 3-hour forced march. 10, 12, 14. Depends on the terrain. Oh, absolutely. But you're going to deal with that through, skill challenge difficulty, like how many successes they need versus by raising the DC, I think. But yes, if they're in a desert, then obviously I would modify the DC or whatever. But I think we're just looking for, these are just example DCs. We're not setting like actual skill DCs here. Sorry, I need to double check my notes on something that I don't want to show on screen here really fast. I know we were only one away from done. Okay. I had a couple of other ideas that I just remembered about this. I had a couple of other ideas written down for things that we might potentially use as skill challenges, as I've been kind of musing about this earlier this week. But I think we kind of covered those with a few of the other ideas that we had. All right, we'll be back to it here in just a sec. Also finishing, like I said, I'm multitasking a little bit in the background, which I usually try not to do during these streams, but something that's been taking me way longer than I wanted to get done. And it's not something that I can particularly speed up. Like I can't, whether I pay full attention to it or I pay like 1 minute of attention to it every 15 minutes, it doesn't change things. So it's the amount of time that it's the amount of meta time that I pay 1 minute of attention every 15 minutes to it that matters. So the last one was superstition, and that one's definitely knowledge, but feel like that should be a more difficult knowledge. We already have 2 other knowledges that have a knowledge 10 requirement. Something like a superstition is very local and very localized. I don't know, though, but I mean, there are commonly known superstitions, right? Like, Friday the 13th is, an unlucky day, and I don't know. Now, of course, I can't think of any common superstitions off the top of my head, but whatever, you know what I mean? There are some. And that's what's supposed to be represented by knowledge 10. Are there other skills that jump out at me as good solutions for superstitions? I mean, I guess gather information also. It was almost inverted, though. My original thought when I thought of this one was more like omens than superstitions. Now I realize that an omen is a type of superstition, but hmm. It's also like we'd almost need a sub list of like what the omens are. I feel like that one might be a little harder to use on the fly. Hmm. And how would that be a skill challenge? You observe the omen, but like maybe that just falls under, well, I don't know. Like they're sort of local customs. Like also this should be up here. Italicized. Hold on. That way my table resize is centered again. There. I think that's good. I feel like maybe another day's project, I don't know if I want to spend any more time on this today, is going to be to write out some examples of these. But I think that's good for what we wanted to get done today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Puts us at 13. I said I wanted to get up to 10. Will that recenter it if I... Oh, God. Challenge. Challenge. I don't feel like this row needs to be bolded, but that's fine. We'll come back to it here in a sec. Oh, and of course, after we cut one, we ended up with 13, just as I had finished talking about lucky number 13. That column. Trying to keep things from breaking over across lines, but also still fitting. There we go. And then we don't want those bold. I think maybe these instead of bold. Maybe just underline? Yeah, I think that looks better. Cool. Kind of a fun little thought experiment. Sorry about the distraction in the middle there. But that is done. Let's get ourselves some XP. This should be pretty quick. Thankfully, we did play pretty recently. Party folder. Party, XP tracker. All right. Oh, I just opened it and then closed it. Nice. Nailed it. All right. What day was that session? Is that the 3rd? Oh God, did I record that? Oh no. I didn't record it. I only have like a couple days left to download it off of Twitch.
Evil and will not take part.
Oh, I did. We're good. Okay. That was concerning for a second there. I need to update the thing in my XP tracker, though, because it was originally estimated that session 37 should have happened in April, but there were no sessions in April. Pepe hands. Let's see. We did, however, get everybody was present for the session. That's good. We've had, not only have we had less frequent sessions recently, but we've had at least one person absent for every session since January 11th. It's been tough. Of course, we're grateful to everybody for making it happen. So this is not a dig at anybody. Just unfortunate that the way that lives have changed over time, that it's gotten harder and harder to get everybody there. Like I said, I'm super appreciate as a result of that. That means that it's even more effort for our players to be committing. So very grateful for that. just does mean that you know, the compromise has had to be that we have -1 more frequently. Which has sort of had me on the fence about looking at possibly trying to recruit another player. We have 5 right now, so when we play without 1, we have 4, which is still like absolutely a D&D party. But it does mean that having, you know, an average of 4.5 players per session means that we could potentially fit somebody. And it's fun to play with people. Or maybe looking at doing some more guest spots instead of necessarily permanent player spots. Although also we all know how that's gone. Everybody that we've tried to invite on for a guest spot so far, we've ended up offering a permanent spot to, because we all get like, oh, can we keep them? Oh, there is actually indirectly related. We are late this month or early in June. We are going to be doing a one-shot that's either going to be Call of Cthulhu. So just a Call of Cthulhu one-shot to do something kind of a little different style for funsies and give some people some exposure to that system, because I think Call of Cthulhu 7th edition is really cool. Or it's going to be a one-shot set in the canon world of Ren. So a chance for some more people to potentially impact our world building and storytelling. So we're going to be doing voting on that in Discord. So if you're not already in our Discord, you can join us there at discord.gg/HereThereBeMonsters. I think that bot command works. Maybe just the !! Discord one. Okay. Yeah, that one works at least. So you can vote on what one shot we're going to be doing and potentially sign up to be a player in it. Let's see. How do we feel about session XP? And also, I guess, where are we relevant to leveling our characters? Since I'm not used to using total XP. So going from 1 to 2 is 1,000. Going from 2 to 3 is a total of 3,000. Going from 3 to 4 is a total of what? 7,000? Okay, so we still have a long ways to go until level 4. Because broadly speaking, our world is designed for the characters to largely be in the level 3 to 5 range. So I just want to make sure that we're not like blowing through that, but we've got plenty of room. So we do session XP to just kind of like generally cover like most role playing and decision making and whatnot that people did. And then we give kind of sprinkle in some bonus XP for standout moments or particularly dangerous combat or that kind of thing. That being said, that's kind of a difficult thing to summarize in XP numbers this time around. I can't really say why without being spoilery, but you can catch up on our sessions here on the channel if you're curious. That one's tough. Okay, I think I know. Also, did Kale abandon us? Can you still hear me? I miss you. Actually, honestly, by that point, that was a, like, that was a... I think there's something to be said for the role play that happened there. I think there's something to be said. Okay. I think there's also kind of a non-encounter like just a little bit of XP for that, but I think it's worth kind of noting. Then episode 38, which we don't have an exact date for, but it sounded like that was likely to be either the 24th or the 31st. And either not this upcoming Saturday, but either the next Saturday or the one after that will be the following D&D session. And I'm hoping to finally be caught up on our session videos on YouTube as well. We did so well for the first like 34, 35 episodes of getting them uploaded within the week where we had the session, and then been kind of struggling with lifing and working and whatnot. So as I mentioned earlier, trying to catch up on some things, feeling good about our momentum and trajectory, but the video uploads is definitely one of the things that we still need to get under control. Yeah, thank you, Lily. I appreciate it. Everybody's been really, really nice about it. But you know, like I still obviously want to try to get my feet back under me. And frankly, of the people that I know of that have been watching the videos, we have a couple of people who are relatively new that I think are some, you know, that started within the last couple of months, who probably haven't caught up into the 30s yet. And then a lot of other people that are more up to date. Like the amount that the videos are behind is about as far is about at like, because we just didn't have some sessions for a while. So the delay between videos is about the same as the delay between sessions was. It's just that it's offset by like 2. We are our own worst critics. Too true. Too true. I think we're doing pretty good on time here today, though. Like I said, I'm feeling really good about having taken some time this last week or so, and then starting to catch up on projects and stuff. And today in particular, actually, I've gotten a lot done, both for work and for personal today. Lots more to do, but today feels good. So the next thing is we want to make a copy of our session notes and start getting prepped for next session. And in case it sounded that way, because of course I'm multitasking my attention a little bit. I really do appreciate both Lily speaking up in chat here and just generally how understanding and kind everybody has been over the course of the last week or two. It really has helped, because like as an anxious person, I'm even more prone to being hard on myself. And to pushing myself, and like having the voices of people speaking up and saying, hey, like it's okay, really does help quiet that part of my brain, or at least reduce its volume. So I really truly am grateful. That's not just like a hand wave of like, oh, everybody's been great, but really everybody has been great. And loosely related, but we booked our vacation yesterday. I'm really, really excited about that. It's been, by the time we go, it will have been like 3.5, 4 years since we had a vacation. And so for one, I'm just really looking forward to that anyway. As much as we love what we do, absolutely love what we do. Like could not be more grateful to get to do what we do, but still, no matter how much you love what you do, having breaks is good. And also very exciting because we've been fundraising our vacation through our community, or with the help of our community. And we had a subathon on Twitch earlier this spring where we raised, I forget the number exactly, but it was right about half of the money that we thought that we would need to pay for the vacation. And we'll be doing another subathon later in the year to hopefully cover the rest, or at least most of the rest of that amount. But also, part of the reason that we went ahead and booked it yesterday is we found a really, really, really good deal. And we ended up getting, saving about 20%. So between when we had the subathon and now, the price had gone up about 10%, because just generally the closer that you get to travel, the more expensive it is. So it's not quite 20% savings versus our originally expected ticket price, but we had the number that we had, and then that went up by about 10%, and then we've cut that number by 20%. And because the way percentages is weird, that doesn't just mean that it's 10% cheaper than we had expected. It's more in the neighborhood of 12 to 15% cheaper than we had expected. So that really helps. Like I said, we still have some fundraising to do, and everybody's been really, really kind about supporting us in that endeavor. We had a really fun, really successful subathon. It started on, what was it, like April 4th or something like that, whatever that Friday was, and went for like 100-ish hours, which was a ton of fun. And so yeah, but between having a successful spring subathon and also like I said, some good deal shopping, I'm really excited. Well, not just I. We are really excited. It's just I guess I'm the one that's here talking. Unfortunately, we were not able to book it through James, which I did really want to do. Those of you that know about our sponsorship with James at Disney Concierge. But that's not because of any ill will or anything between us and James. We love James and we love working with James. It just so happened to be that the reason why the way that we were able to get it so much cheaper this time than we expected was because there was a special deal running through Southwest Airlines where we have like a points membership thing, and so it had to be booked directly through that. So I was a little bummed because, of course, we would have loved to have given the business and continue our positive reference to James and Concierge. But at the same time, and he understands this too, it didn't make sense to pay like, however much money more. I don't remember how much it was off the top of my head, but to pay like significantly more, like I said, 20% more, just so he could get the referral. And that's one of the reasons why we're so happy to, I don't know, this is kind of all over the place, I'm sorry, but that's one of the reasons why we're so happy to promote James and his work, because when we tell him, hey, we got to we're really sorry, we would have loved to have booked this with you, but just because of a special membership deal, it randomly is quite a bit cheaper for us to book it ourselves through this membership program. Like, he gets it. Like, he's never pressured us about that kind of thing. He's happy to work with us, and of course, at any time where he can do our booking, we're happy to work with him and give him the referral. And of course, he's happy to do it and happy to make his referral bonus and whatever. But also, like, he understands that even people who do work with him, like, he doesn't pressure us to work with him, which I think is really cool. Hard to pass up a deal when money's tight. Exactly. Okay, there we go. For whatever reason, Google Drive was part of the reason that I was chatting there was Google Drive was just taking for freaking ever to copy that document over for some reason. I don't know what was going on with that. I need to come up with a good like pun for the name of, or not necessarily pun, but play on words for the next session's title. By the way, we're not going to sit here and do that right now, but we'll write the session intro and retitle it next time. But I just want to get our stuff started. This is going to be session 38. We will pick up with our player characters. I want to say what, because that's kind of spoilery, but oh my gosh, stop trying to autocorrect Skabosh's name. Stop it. Oh boy, Shalendor, a priest, a rabbit. Now is that supposed to be rabbit or is that supposed to be a rabbi? But you got auto carroted. Oh man, the triple entendre. A priest, a rabbit, and a minister walk into a bar. The bartender asks, "What are you having?" The rabbit says, "I don't know. I'm only here because of the stupid auto." There you go. Even better because I hadn't actually read what you said yet. Amazing. That's teamwork, Looney. High five. Fair enough, Looney. Fair enough. There's that. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of notes organizing right now. We tied together several threads during the last session. All right. I want to get things to the point as far as today's work goes, where next Wednesday we can sit down and really do the session prep. I wasn't sure how exactly how long, especially like expanding the travel challenges. I had originally expected that to be a little bit quicker today, because I didn't think we were going to add as many as we did. So I'm glad that it wasn't quicker, but it does mean that we didn't get quite as far on the next session prep as I had originally kind of time budgeted, but that's okay. I'm getting my document set up and getting kind of the initial outline of next session written down. And then we'll go from there next time and get a few specifics and pre-roll some weather and whatnot. Also try and kind of guesstimate, what kind of my broadly expected bounds are for like how much time will pass during the next session, and kind of what I think that we might get done after the cliffhanger, after the resolution of the cliffhanger that we left with last time. We'll work out all those details next time. I'm just sorting through my notes to see what from my session 37 notes I used, what I didn't use yet, and therefore need to reference or keep around for possible reference for future sessions. Just about done that with just about done with that. Jokes about diverse topics and share them when suggested. I like it. Yes, you do, Looney. Yes, you do. Okay, I think that's just about it. That gives me a good spot to pick up with for session prep during next week's Working Wednesday stream. How are we doing? 425. That's not too bad. I think I was on the clock to be done around 415 initially, so I only went a little bit over and got the majority of what I wanted to get done. So I still feel pretty good about that, especially in the context of, like I said, today's been a very productive day overall. Even when life is terrible, a laugh helps. Absolutely. No, it helps, honestly, so much. It's crazy, like, from a biological, physiological standpoint, how important, like, a few deep diaphragmal breaths and or like a good, genuine laugh can be for you. It's crazy. All right. So that's it for today. Sorry, I know. I guess it was a little bit distracted during a few portions of the working stream today because, like I said, I guess I'm so excited about kind of getting back in the swing of things and getting stuff done that I was multitasking, which I try not to do usually when I'm streaming. But we did still finish probably 80-90% of what I wanted to today for stream goals, and like I said, I've gotten a ton else done. So thank you for everybody that joined us today. One last call. If you haven't had a chance to give a thumbs up on the live stream, we'd super appreciate that. Whether you're watching live or watching the video, the thumbs up helps. And I guess kind of pertinent schedule things. Our next stream is Friday. Then we're not streaming Saturday. We took that day off for our anniversary. So we got a hotel room downtown. We're going to go out and have a nice meal and stay downtown by the river and walk in the park and generally have a good day on Saturday. So Twitch stream Friday, no stream Saturday, normal stream Sunday. And then as far as D&D stuff goes, Next Monday might be another Chronicles session. I need to look into that. I'm not sure that they actually got that totally finalized. But there might be a Chronicles live stream either this upcoming Monday or the Monday after that. And then, of course, I'll be here on Wednesday, working Wednesday next week. Other than that, like I said, I'm trying to get caught up on our sessions, so I'm not going to commit to any specific days or whatever, but I'm hoping to get one D&D session uploaded this week and ideally 2 next week so that we can actually get caught up. So, yeah, I know that's a lot. I don't necessarily expect anybody to memorize that, but hopefully if any one of those things applies to you, then you got the info that you wanted. As far as live streams or sessions or as far as Twitch live streams or sessions or YouTube live streams goes. So that's our plan. Thank you so much. If I don't see you until next Working Wednesday stream, then I will catch you there. If you're coming for the Twitch stream on Friday, wish us luck. There's a big Helldivers event going on and we're going to be dropping. So thank you so much for all of your support, and we'll see you soon. As always, take care and be excellent to each other.